Well, today we have Danny Gibson with us, one of our clients who's been quite successful recently. So Danny, if you can just briefly, describe your business, what you do and who you help, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I'm Danny, I'm CEO of The Only. We are a lead generation agency that specializes in design and creative industries. So we specifically only work with like big design firms and premium creative agencies.
So can you kind of share like where you are, before working with us in terms of revenue, in terms of like your appointments, just like what running the business was like, kind of before you started
Sure.
and decided to jump on?
Well, when I met you, we were at zero leads, zero revenue for the specialized offer, everything. We had been operating for about 15 years as a full service design agency, doing like web design and just anything under that design sun. We knew we were looking to make a pivot and specialize more on the marketing side for design and creative. And we came across your system and we took everything that you taught us and kind of productized it and built it into a done for you type service, added a lot of our own, our own touch and things like that to it. It took us a little bit longer maybe than some of the average students to get things going because we were initially like just starting when we met you. But once we got things going, it was unreal. We actually had to turn it off after the first 2 weeks because we weren't ready for the influx of leads and everybody coming in. So once we got a hand of that, we turned it back on and things have just been unreal since then. Yeah. And then, like I mentioned, we've been having some hirings and some really big clients. We also, I took some advice from you about that whole like revenue share commission approach. And it's actually turned out to be an actual approach that we're doing now as a model because we're so confident in our outreach that I've been able to calculate my margins and how much it costs for us to invest our resources into a customer. And as long as they're making a certain amount a year, we've been able to, bring them in and it's working out really well.
So in terms of the lead generation and the outreach side of things that you were doing like before working with us, like what was kind of your process for that?
We didn't really have one. Before this whole specialized offer, I was actually working as a fractional CMO while I was operating my agency as well. And the agency that I was working for was a lead generation agency. So at the time I was immersed in this lead generation agency and operating a full service like design agency. And I kind of just had this little light bulb moment where I realized we could take this lead generation service and infuse it into our design industry experience. Because I went to school, my formal education was in business development and marketing. So I got that marketing knowledge. And once we plugged that in and kind of got that going, we just started generating the leads and it's just unreal.
Yeah. Before you actually started with us, like what were the main challenges I guess you were facing? Like what was it kind of like, trying to figure everything out? Because you had like a decent, track record in the industry before.
We had no offer. Yeah. We had no offer. We did well and we had a great business on referrals, but every single customer that came through my business was never the same. So it was always just like a new person came in through the door. Can you guys do XYZ? Yeah, let's do it. And then it was like run, scramble, hire team, resources and get things going. And then every time a new person or an opportunity would come through the door, it was like, we design stuff or we do stuff, we make videos or we did like, it wasn't really like we had this clear offer. And I started to realize that that was a problem that we had, but not just ourselves, but a lot of full service agencies, and being able to identify that and then identify it in the industry and helping other full service agencies has just been this huge godsend for us.
Yeah, for sure. So how is like the offer and I guess like the way that you guys go about, generating clients like changed since working with us for the last few months?
Like I said, I mean, we've been running on referrals our whole lives. So having this influx of like people that are interested in our business and wanting to talk to us is something that we weren't really used to. Referrals are a completely different experience than waking up in the morning and seeing Samantha at 10 and then John at 2 and then Bill at 3 p.m., and you're just like, wow, this is exciting. So I think that having that was motivating as well, though, and getting us going and kind of, it pushes you to keep going.
For sure. So like, what have you seen differently? So like, what are the results now? Like in terms of, obviously you didn't really have anything, super set in place in terms of generating clients before other than just people like randomly hitting you up from referrals. What is that like right now? Like how many appointments are you generating consistently? How many clients have you signed so far using the program? What's that generated in terms of revenue over the last 4 or 5 months? Like what has that all been look like?
Well, we've gone from zero to, we've probably 4x, 6x to what we were doing. I already had 3 deposits from clients. So we've like signed 3 official paying clients. I've got 3 revenue share clients. I call them revenue share, but they're $1,500 to $2,000 a month plus $20,000 of sales for 12-month agreements. So, they're pretty high. Yeah. And we don't accept those revenue share agreements unless the client's making over $250K a year and their monthly, like their deals have to be significant, like $50K kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then in terms of like appointments, like what is I know you said you had like Susie at 10 and Bill at like on a weekly basis, like how many appointments can you like expect you're going to be booking in like going into every single week?
When I'm turned on, it's 5 for sure. Like I can easily do 5. I could for sure do more, but I've kept my LinkedIn outreach at a point where I like to stay compliant. I don't want to raise any red flags.
Yep.
Plus I was getting enough that was making me happy. We could step it up. Now that we've got the sales guy, we are going to step it up. We've just purchased, I think, another dozen domains. My sales guy has also agreed to use his LinkedIn account, which is going to double our LinkedIn outreach. So, I mean, we're like on the cusp of like just doubling everything right now, which is great.
Yeah. Before it's like, you can't really decide how many appointments you're going to be getting, and now it's like if you just decide to double your outreach, you're going to double your sales, and you can actually grow predictably.
I remember when I first met you and you were talking this stuff, and I was like, what's he talking about, man? This is very bullshit.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how things change, man. A lot of people have, certain misconceptions about, outreach and these types of things. Like, what actually surprised you about implementing this, and like, what kind of misconceptions did you have before,
It's all in our head. It's all in our head. The reason why we think like that is because it's uncomfortable and you just haven't really done it. And I'm dealing with it with my own customers now. It's like, it's hilarious because it's like, it's repeating myself with my own clients. And when you get out of your own head and you realize that this is actually how you do business, and if you're not doing it, I mean, the guy next to you or the guy behind you is doing it. And it's just a matter of having a system that makes you feel comfortable. And I think a lot of it was, when I first started, I won't lie, man, there was a couple nights where I was like, man, I think I want my money back. I did, I shouldn't have done this. This was a big mistake. And I realized there were so many mornings when I was like about to like even message you, and then like, okay, I'm in my head right now. Like this is, and I need to stop because I'm just having a bad day. It was the execution, just following through and doing everything that you did and just actually following through, man. I think that's all it really is. I think people overcomplicate it. Sometimes everybody thinks they get into these coaching programs and there's like a magic red button and they're going to hit. It's just going to work for them. That's not how this works. You brought everything in a really concise way, and I think it was very easy to understand, to the point that I was within months able to make it into a done-for-you service and fuse it into our own service, right? So I think you've done a great job, Josh.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of people that you said is like a lot of people look for reasons why it won't work. And then obviously, if you don't do anything and you're like trying to find reasons of like excuses not to do anything, that's the reason why that people have been stuck for so long. So I'm really happy you were able to, push through that. And obviously it paid off. So that's awesome, man. It was actually pretty funny. When you joined us, I remember you called me directly after talking with Carlos and everything. And then, you had, a lot of hesitations yourself, which is, fair enough, because there's a lot of people out in the industry that don't know what they're doing, right? Like, what would you say to someone who's in that similar position where they're like on the fence of, whether or not to work with us or even just to, schedule a call?
Make sure it's a good fit for you. But if you feel like it is, do it, man. Jump, like go for it. You're never going to find that perfect thing that's just going to be like, turn the button on, hit a button and it's going to work. Execution is the key. You need to jump in and take that jump. More than likely, if you're in a position where you're trying to find this type of answer, the answer is going to be an uncomfortable solution, but uncomfortable is good because it molds us to becomes something new. And you will see that the results, when you put yourself out there, what comes back is just tenfold. But you need to put yourself out there. You have to knock on doors. Before this program, I'll be honest with you, Josh, I used to think of sales, it was like door-to-door vacuum guys, used cars and like freaking telemarketing rooms. But I realized you guys have made me have a newfound respect for sales. And between you and Carles, you guys have done a great job in coaching this old guy into becoming a good sales guy.
Yeah, well, it's awesome to hear, man. I mean, I can't wait to see where you go next. Like, if things continue on, like I guess they've been going, like where do you see, your own business in the next like 6 to 12 months?
I've got this $1 million thing written on my whiteboard right here, and awesome. I'm going for the $1 million and $100K a month. I know we're there. I actually had another call with this other coaching group that's been after me for the last little while, and I keep telling them I didn't want to do it. So I took the coaching call, and they claim to be these guys that can take people from like 50 to 100K and all this stuff. We had a great call, and they went through and asked me 1 million questions. And at the end of the call, Josh, they actually said to me, "You don't need our help, mate, because you're on the way to getting that 100K, and the guys who you're working with are clearly doing a good job with you." So
perfect, man. Well, that's a good thing to hear, dude. And I can't wait to do another one of these in 12 months once you're there.
Yeah, me too.
All right, sweet, man. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. If you found this useful, schedule a call below. Never hurts to learn more. Might just change your life like it did for Danny. So I'll see you guys later.